Hi guys, coming to you from Orange County National. Wanted to help you work on your draws and fades today. For a fade, I want the club obviously moving from the outside, tracking a little bit for me out to in with a slightly closed face. So it starts a little left and then works back to the target. For the draw is going to be the opposite. The path is going to be a bit from the inside and the face is going to be ever so slightly open to the target but still close to the path. That way it's going to start for me to the right of the target and then work back to the left. I'm showing you a really simple drill to help encourage the draws and fades. So for the fade, I have a alignment stick set in here. I'm going to set it right on the heel of my club and the stick is going to be about even with the golf ball. So when I do this, that's going to encourage the club not to be tracking too much in here for the fade. So even if I put another reference, I'm going to just put a golf ball here almost a little bit outside the stick. So if I picture, I'm going to open my stance line, and as I go back and down, I'm tracking the club a little bit more on top of the ball to move it left. If I go to the top and I get narrow and steep as I do that, I'm going to be hitting down on it more, which is going to make it harder to fade. So that's just understanding that as the club hits down more, it actually shifts the path more from the inside or more into out because of the downward attack. So making sure that when you're hitting fades, we're not going to be going, especially for high level players, as much down into the ground. So we want to still feel nice width, and then we're going to just shift our baseline. So I'm going to set up here, shift my baseline a little bit open. I got my front foot a little bit open, and then as I go back, I'm picturing I'm over that ball and then keeping my width and then going slightly from the outside on the way down. So that should be a pretty good one. I mean, it looked visually exactly how I pictured. So it started out there, path was 1.4 from the outside with a club face right around 0. So that ball started basically just left the target and then dropped on the target. So not a huge fade, but just a baby little fade. Good shot, exactly what I was looking to do. Hit really nicely. So, and then I'm gonna shift to the draw. So I'm just gonna move the stick to the other side of the ball. I'm gonna put a golf ball here on the inside to help me with a visual of my down. A couple different ways to hit a draw. We could shift the ball back, which is going to help us hit downward slightly more and shift the path more into out with the attack, or we could just drop our trail foot back and make your baseline just a little more shut. So lots of different ways to do it. It's going to really be based on a lot of factors on how you move and how you generate force in your swing. But for me, I'm going to play it just ever so slightly back, lean my handle just a little forward, which opens the face just a touch. And then when I'm coming in, I'm picturing same thing. I'm keeping that width, and then I'm just letting the club track slightly from the inside. And that was really good right there. That for the draws, that was 5 from the inside. So obviously I shifted the path ample. The face was 3, so that's a nice ratio. The ball started out to the right and then drew back in. That's sort of my tendency when I hit the draw. I like it to start a little bit more to the right and then work back into the target. I don't ever like seeing it start at the target and then cross that target line. I want to start it out to the right and then have it drop on the target. So just using this stick and the golf ball as a reference to help my visual when I'm practicing, making those small adjustments and then paying attention to what the ball's doing, finding the right matchup for you and what your tendencies are. So for me, obviously for the fade, I feel like I'm fading it a lot. It's 1 or 2 from the outside. I feel for my draw, I don't have to work that hard. I just move the ball back and then make sure it starts to the right, and then it's going to move back to the target. So use those little keys. Give yourself a little bit of a system when you're practicing. Help control some of those variables, like where you're aiming and where your ball position is and how the club's coming down. So you keep checking those little boxes. It makes life a little bit easier when you're practicing. Gives you some things to build off each time you go out there and hit balls. So use that. If you need any more help or guidance for your game, make sure you check the description below. Thanks for watching.